Welcome back to my channel. We getting back in our book club reading the Trilateral Commission. This book written in 1980 and comparing it to 2025 is on point. For real, for real, for real. Okay. Now we back on the who's who, and I'm just gonna go to the list of names that I know because it's too many. Oh, my hair. It's too many to talk about. Oh, I went to church today, my third time. Man, it was so good. He talked about help is on the way. The prophets of Baal going against the prophets of God, Elijah and Jezebel. Oh my God, it was so good. And of course, I was an hour late. I didn't get there to one. I'm always running late. Anywho, so getting back to the who's who in the Trilateral Commission. John Austin, he was the chairman of Coca-Cola in 70. The Rand Corp, which is Illuminati subset, is real. The Rand Corporation. Round Table, 20th Century Fund, Smithsonian Institute, United Negro College Fund, Philanthropy, Morgan Gurity Trust, General Electric, Continental Oil, Dow Jones, New York City, General Electric, South Mills Trust Company. Maybe I'll just name the name. George Ball, Lucy Benson. Now that's son, she was the Continental Group 80 to Under Secretary of State's Security Assistant 77-79, President League of Women Voters, Urban Coalition, National Urban League, Afro Peace Sloan Fund, Smith College, W. Michael Blumenthal, Robert Bowie, John Bradis, Andrew Brenner, William Brock, Harold Brown. I don't know these people. Brzezinski, we know he groomed Obama, so we'll talk about him. Let me see. He was assistant to president for National Security Affairs in 77, Energy Resources, International Institute for Peace and Conflict Resolution, director of Columbia University. See all these liberal colleges. State Department, Rand Corp Policy Plan, CI State Department Ford Fellowship, Director of Foreign Policy Task Force. Vice President Humphrey, 68, he worked for. He part of the Bilderberg Group, the NAACP. I never supported the NAACP. They the black boule. When the NAACP started, it was started with Rothschild's money. And there was only one black on the board, and that was W.E.B. Du Bois. The rest of them were of Jewish descent. I never, these are your black boule, the gatekeepers, the NAACP. I never supported that. Harvard, let me see. He handled foreign affairs and foreign policy. John Burlingame, George Bush. Now we know him and his son, W. Bush, was both Knights of Malta. Skull and Bones. He was adjunct professor at Rice University, director of the CIA. This is Senior Bush, who passed now. U.S. Liaison Office in Peking. Republican National Chairman of the Republican National Commission, Ambassador to UN, Republican House of Representatives. He was a part of Council of Foreign Relations. We're going to get into that. Another secret society. Philip Caldwell, Chairman of Ford Motor Company. See how the heads of industry are in on this? They follow the same thing. Heads of industry. That's all he is. Chairman of the Ford him. And, oh, he was part of Chase Manhattan Rockefellers. Hugh Captain's Jimmy Carter. He was the president. He was in the government of Georgia, state senator, West Central Georgia Area Plan and Development Committee, President Plains Development Corp., peanut farmer and warehouser, deacon and Sunday school teacher. Jimmy Carter was always different. He wasn't a good president because he was not an establishment man. So Captain Lawton Charles, Warren Christopher. Now Warren Christopher, he did the Warren report when JFK was assassinated. So yeah, he was a Department Secretary of State in 77. He was Attorney General, Government's Committee on Los Angeles riots that happened in 65, 66. Geneva Conference of Cotton Textiles, Council of Foreign Relations, Harvard University, Treasurer Harvard University and Stanford University, Director Pacific Mutual Life, Southern California. Alden Costa, William Cohen, U.S. Senate lawyer. Barbara Conabal, Richard Cooper. And I'm not going through all these names. I'm just not going to do it because we're trying to get through this part because the next chapter going to be out cold. It's talking about the New World Order. I don't know none of these people, and I'm not going to look them up either. Edgar Kaiser, Kaiser Industries, chairman of Stanford Institute, President Kaiser Industries, U.S. and USR Trade and Economic Commission. Henry Kissinger, Illuminati himself. He was part of Chase Bank, Rockefellers, professor at Georgetown. I never knew the evil man was a professor. Senior fellow Aspen Institute. He was on NBC. Goldman Sachs. Illuminati all the way. Secretary of State. President Assistance of National Security Affairs. Council of Foreign Relations. Bilderberg Group. Walter Mondale. We know he was VP. He was the regent of Smithsonian Institute, U.S. Senate, part of Bilderberg, Council of Foreign Relations, lawyer, Attorney General, Minnesota. It's pages of pages, but we are not going to go there. David Rockefeller, this the daddy. He had 6 heart transplants, died at 100. How he get 6 heart transplants? Where they come from? How much he pay for them? He part of the Trilateral Commission, North American Chairman Chase Manhattan Bank. He retired in 1981. Chairman Rockefeller Brothers Fund, head of Coalition of New York Businessmen. Council of Foreign Relations, Rockefeller Center, University of Chicago, Bilderberg Group, and the Round Table. John D. Rockefeller. Oh, and you know what? I think David might still be alive. I think John D. is the one. No, one of them passed shit. John D. Rockefeller IV, Governor of West Virginia. White House Conference Balance. Wesley College. Secretary of State for Eastern Africa. Rockefeller Fund, member of Council of Foreign Relations. William Roth, Roth Properties. Kennedy Center, Harvard, special rep on trade negotiations. Pacific National Life Insurance. Cyrus Vance, Secretary of State, 77 to 80. Pan Am, IBM, World Airways, New York Times Company, Rockefeller Fund, Yale University. He was a Bilderberg Group, Council of Foreign Relations. Paris Peace Talks on Vietnam, Korea. Paul Volcker, he was chairman of the Federal Reserve in the 80s. I used to really, because I wanted to be a stockbroker, so I used to really follow him. Oh, he president of Federal Reserve Bank of New York, under Secretary of Monetary Affairs. Under Secretary of Monetary Affairs, Chase Manhattan Bank, Treasury Department. Council of Foreign Relations, Rockefeller Fund. Friends, London School of Economics. Now we're going Andrew Young. Remember him, mayor of Atlanta? See how the black boule is? President Young Ideas. Ambassador to the UN. Democratic, Representative Georgia. Atlanta Community, Director Martin Luther King Center. Black boule all the way, so was Martin Luther King. Social Change. Field Fund, Southern Christian Leadership Conference. A member of Council of Foreign Relations. Now we're going to Canada. I don't know if we know any of these names in Canada. It's going to be a short video. Western Europe. Oh, these are French. Denmark. France. Damn, I don't know none of these names. Jacques Faucher, president of Faucher of Paris. Ran. Ireland. See how this stuff is international? All for one goal, the New World Order. Italy. I don't know none of these names. Western Europe, Netherlands. Norway. Spain. UK. Lord Carrington, Secretary of State for Foreign and Commonwealth, House of the Lords, Secretary of Energy, Australia and New Zealand Bank, of course, because most Illuminati are in banking, international bankers. House of Lords, Barclays Bank, Cadbury Swipes, First Lord of Admiralty. West Germany. Oh, I cannot say none of these names. Ooh, wee. And I don't know none of them anyway. European officers and authors who are not regular members. All right, now, on my phone, let me hurry up. 3 Japanese attended the planning session of the Trilateral Commission held at Rockefeller Estate in 1972. Saburo Oto, an economist who has been working with successive Japanese governments in economic planning since the end of World War II. Mazin became acquainted with David Rockefeller when he went to the U.S. to study just before the start of the Pacific War, while the other 2 Japanese participants were selected by Tadish Yadaman, director of the Japan International Exchange Center, on the request of George Franklin. McKenzie was invited by Rockefeller himself. The involvement of Japan in the Trilateral Commission highlighted its growing economic importance. Nonetheless, 3 Japanese cities had reservations about participating. Nonetheless, the 3 Japanese elites had reservations about participating. While they were personally flattered by the Rockefeller invitation and proud that Japanese leader would finally be allowed to enter the exclusive salons of Western elites, they were also anxious that Japan might be forced to assume increasing responsibility for safeguarding the Western-dominated world order. Mizansi was fully aware that while the Japanese economy had expanded rapidly, it was not as solid as it should be, but had grown so much like an overweight child. Its bones are too thin, and the weight is more than water muscle. Japan's role in what has been called shadow world government. There it is right there, the shadow government. The government behind the government that you don't see. Was formalized in 1973 when Trilateral Commission held its first general meeting in Tokyo. The Yusha family typifies the Japanese establishment. Naoko Yusha's elder brother, Tomokio, started his career as a politician after he graduated from Oxford University and became cabinet secretary for Koni Fununi, known as the most tragic prime minister. He served as board member of Japan Exim Bank after World War II and is presently an advisor to Long-Term Credit Bank of Japan. Among the first 74 members, there are several people who, like Watanabe, Okita, Masawi, and Yusha, held positions involving negotiation with the United States during the occupation days and thus established their own channels to the U.S. establishment. Most members of the Japanese Committee of Trilateral Commissions are executives of large banks. I'm telling you, Illuminati is straight banking and international bankers and corporations, particularly of emerging Japanese, mostly trading companies and giant manufacturers, Sony, Mitsubishi, the largest conglomerate in Japan, Mitsui & Company, Toyota, Nissan, Mitsubishi Bank, Fiji Bank. Now here are the other leaders of Japan. I can't say none of their names, so we can go by. Damn, it's a lot in Japan. Pages and pages and pages. And that's it. And we finished. We finished with chapter 3. Now, the next time I read this one is about to get real juicy. Shaping of a new world order. Come on. Ain't nothing changed. 1980, 2025. The game don't change, but the people and the time. Like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. I'm about to upload this.